Welcome to a pedagogical grammar of English for Arabic speakers. Today, we are starting at section 1, working with letters, and we are going to look at the English letters and sounds, and in particular, the English consonants. When we think about English and Arabic letters, we have to remember that there are some major differences between the way we use letters in both languages. If we look at the table here, we see one very important difference. When we look at the name Badr, Dina, Sami, in French, we see a capital letter or uppercase letter at the beginning of the word, whereas in Arabic, there is no change between the letter ba for bus and for Badr. So in English, we have to remember that we have uppercase or capital letters as well as lowercase or small letters. The next difference, which makes English a little bit easier, is that once you have learned the shape of the lowercase letter, it doesn't change no matter where it is in the word. Unlike Arabic, as you see here, where the shape of the letter changes depending on where we find it in the word. And a third difference has to do with vowels in English. Short vowels are written in English, as we see here with girl and went, whereas in the word bint, the short vowel is not written, or dhahaba, the short vowels are not written generally on the word. Now let's move on to learn the English consonants. Some letters in English are similar to Arabic in their sounds. So let's look at the first group of letters here, and we will consider letters that are similar or somewhat similar to Arabic letters. So the first pair of letters we have here are b and p, b and p. Now the letter b is similar to the Arabic b. There is no p in Arabic, and therefore it can be quite problematic sometimes in the way people hear it and pronounce it and spell it. So you need to be very careful with this sound, and we'll do some practice on the difference between the two sounds. The next set of letters is T and D. And the English letter T sounds like Arabic ta, and D sounds like dal. So these ones should not be problematic, although sometimes it may be a little bit difficult to tell the difference between T and D at the end of words. The third set of letters, fa and va, and similar to ba and pa. Fa is a letter that is found in Arabic, the fa, but there is no equivalent to the letter v or v. So therefore, again, you need to be very careful with the difference between, for example, words like fan and van. We have another pair of letters that we can also have equivalents in Arabic, sa and za. The English letter s or sa is similar to Arabic sin, while za is like the Arabic za. And again, though sometimes the way these are used in English can be a little bit confusing. For example, we have a word like has, H-A-S, but it sounds like has with a Z. So our next pair of letters are ka and ga, K and G. Now these again have similar equivalents in Arabic, kaf and qaf, and not exactly the same, but quite similar. And you need to learn the spelling of words that use ka and ga as the final letter. For example, think and thing, sink and sing. Right, so now let's move on to group 2. And these are single letters that can sound like Arabic letters. Let's take the first one here, C. C is actually quite a peculiar letter in English because it has no sound of its own, but is sometimes sounded like S as in city, and sounds like the Arabic scene, and then sometimes sounds like K, kaf, as in cat, or cut. Then we have the letter J, which is somewhat like the Arabic jim. And again, this one, when it appears in words, as in jam, is spelt with a J, but we also have the sound giant, and it is spelt with a G. So you need to learn the spelling of these words. The letter N is like the Arabic noon. M is similar to the Arabic letter mim. Y is sometimes similar to the Arabic ya. Now, ya in Arabic is considered a vowel, and in fact Y is actually a semi-vowel, but in English we call it a consonant. It has different sounds depending on where we find it. So for example, when we have quickly, the Y at the end sounds like a long E. We have my, M-Y, where it sounds like I. And then we have Y at the beginning of words like yes and yet, where it sounds almost like a ya. H in English is closer to the softer Arabic ha rather than the ha, and should not be a problem. The letter W, wow, is similar to Arabic wa at the end of words, and it's often called a semi-vowel. Sometimes it can be confused or confusing to tell the difference between a wa and u. The letter R is quite similar to Arabic ra, but it's not as strong. And we find ra at the beginning, middle, and end of words. L is also somewhat similar to the Arabic lam, and we find it is not probably pronounced as strongly as lam in Arabic. Right, now the letters in group 3 are letters that combine two sounds. So we take the letter Q. In English, when we find it in words, it sounds like two letters. So let's take the word quick, and it sounds like K-W-I-K. So you have to be careful of all these words, like queen, again sounds like K-W. And generally, most of the time, the letter Q in English is followed by the letter U. The letter X combines two English sounds, K and S. So we have the word fix or six, and it sounds like F-I-K-S, but it is the letter X. So here we have the consonants in English, and as you see, they do not always sound as they look. So you have to be careful and learn the spelling in English, the spelling of words in English.